Do you have a second in between meetings, Tom? I can give you a shout after we're done this and before the 7 o'clock. Okay, cool. We're good to go, Lindsay? Okay. I'll wait for the official minute to arrive. It being 6 o'clock, this meeting for council is called to order. This is a public meeting held by council under Section 34 of the Planning Act 1990 and it's declared open. Members are to state any pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof before the item is discussed. I'll take silence as a no. Except for the duck on my phone. This meeting is to consider an amendment to the Township and Canterbury Side Zoning Bylaw 2010-49 for lands owned by William Laventure on Milton Stewart Avenue, Agent Kathy Laventure. The public meeting is a requirement of the Planning Act. In accordance with the Planning Act, notice must be given at least 20 days before the public meeting is held. Would the clerk please confirm the date the notice was circulated and calculate that we have the 20 days notice?
Angela, are you muted?
Sorry about that. The notice was circulated to all the property owners within 120 meters of the subject property on August 5th, 2021, and the notice was circulated to all the agencies as required under the Planning Act. It was also published on the township website on August 9th and on the website calendar and posted on the property site.
Thank you very much. The 20-day notice having been given, I now declare this meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Any person wishing to receive a written notice of the adoption of the amendment being considered at this meeting must leave their name and mailing address with the township clerk in writing as required by Section 34, subsection 14.5 of the Planning Act. Council is required to inform the public who is entitled to appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal under sections 34, subsections 11 and 19. Under section 34, subsection 11, if council decides to refuse an application or refuses or neglects to make a decision on an application within 120 days of the municipal clerk receiving the application, the applicant or the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing may appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal by filing an appeal with the clerk of the municipality. Section 34, subsection 19, no later than 20 days after giving a notice of passing of the bylaw, the applicant or any person or public body who made oral submissions at the public meeting or made written submission to council before the bylaw was passed, or the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing may appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal by filing an appeal with the clerk of the municipality. Would the clerk please give a description of the proposed amendment?
The purpose of this amendment is to rezone approximately 0.25 hectares of a 15-hectare farm property fronting on Milton Stewart Avenue to permit a mobile food truck as an additional permitted use. The effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to rezone 0.25 hectares site from residential 1 to residential 1 exception 48 to permit the mobile food truck as an additional permitted use. All other provisions of the zoning bylaw would apply. Additional information regarding the zoning amendment was available for inspection at the Township of McNabb Side Municipal Office during regular office hours. The notice was signed by myself, Angela Young, Deputy Clerk, on August the 5th, 2021.
Were there any written comments received?
Yes, there was. Enbridge Gas does not object to the proposed application, however, reserves the right to amend the development conditions. CEPEO, which is the French School Board, I believe, has no comments or concerns. And McNabb Rayside Public Works Department has no comments or concerns. The building department will provide more detailed comments and or conditions after more thorough review. A refreshment vehicle license is required. Food truck location will be reviewed at that time. And the septic department also commented a septic permit will be required for any septic or gray water system. And that is all of them.
Thank you very much. Mr. Howarth, do you have any comments to add for this application?
Thank you, Chair. No, my planning report was included in the committee's package, and I don't have any additional comments. The recommendation at the end was that the application be approved, subject to favorable comments. I think I didn't hear any unfavorable comments during the comments that were read out earlier in this meeting. So my recommendation would be that the application could be given favorable consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from the public online, Lindsay?
Yes, we do.
All right. Would any members of the public have any questions or comments other than those representing the owner?
Yes, there is. Would you like me to move them over?
Whichever. We'll make sure we get them all.
Hi, can you hear me okay? I'm just using a headset today.
Yes,
Okay,
we can,
perfect.
Sarah.
So my name is Sarah and we attended the meeting the last time. We are the direct neighbors to where the food truck will be going. So I just kind of wrote a little blurb just because it's easier than trying to forget anything. So back in June, we met as a group to discuss our concerns with Kathy, her boyfriend, and some of our neighbors. And Oliver Jacob actually came and attended it also. At that point, it was discussed that Kathy would be able to use some of the dirt that was already on site and leave grass and bring in a barrier for our parking to discuss our concerns. So with the barriers, any cars ending up in our yard, this helped us to feel more comfortable with the high turnover food truck being next door to us, the things that she said that she could put in place to meet our needs. So after that, we decided that we would meet again and we would actually take up measurements. And the other neighbor, Shauna, had offered to assist in a drawing. Something happened with that drawing. I'm not sure what. So anyways, the second time we had met, Kathy had changed the plans to add a wooden privacy fence from approximately the middle of our house to the backyard to obstruct any view of our backyard. And they were going to add boulders in front of parking spaces to obstruct any vehicle from ever coming onto our property. We were very happy with this meeting. So we assumed that when we had asked for the revised plans for tonight, that we would have saw those two very important features that we wanted in the drawings. Unfortunately, they weren't in the drawings. And we just wanted to once again address that our concerns have always been for privacy of enjoyment in our yard and the safety of our family. We wanted to know that these features will be carved in stone. Unfortunately, with a matter like this, I'm not okay with just accepting a conversation I had with someone who plans to do something. I just wanted it somehow recorded, which I thought it would be in the plans, that a privacy fence and some kind of physical barrier would be included. And then our main concerns of safety and privacy had been met, and the food truck would be next door kind of thing.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt, and I certainly don't want to now. But I just wanted to make sure that that you were finished before I tried to address what you just said.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't see body language. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's difficult.
So Bruce, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a subsequent step in the process. This is about zoning, and fencing is not part of the zoning conversation. It would be a subsequent step in the process, correct?
Chair, yeah, the site plan process is separate and distinct from the zoning bylaw process, but definitely council can direct staff to make sure certain things are included in that site plan agreement. So if that would, if those are things like the site, this privacy fence or boulders or other type of protection for making sure that cars can't leave the parking area, those are things that council would like to make sure that those are addressed in the site plan. You can definitely provide that direction to us, and that when we review that with the applicant, that those are features we can make sure are implemented.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Bruce. Sarah, we aren't going to let your comments go because the next step in the process of this meeting is to hear from the applicant. So I certainly don't want to say anything untoward until Kathy has had an opportunity to speak as well, just so I can get a little bit more information. And then following that, we'll have an opportunity for council to discuss as well. So I just wanted to let you know a couple of steps in the process tonight. Is that good?
Yes.
Perfect. Any other members of the public wish to speak this evening on this matter?
Just the applicant now.
Okay. Would the applicant or the representative of the applicant wish to speak? Hey, Kathy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. How are you?
Good. So, yes, I guess I didn't put them in the zoning map when I created the map for this meeting, but I was in a bit of a rush and I probably just, it was an oversight, but I don't exactly know what I'm putting there as of yet. I know I'm putting the boulders in, and I know that I'm putting a fence line in, but I'm thinking probably a shed of some sort will be what's blocking her view from her backyard. And that's why I don't have, like, I just don't have everything just complete right now of what I'm doing, because I need the zoning before I go ahead with what other plans I need to do. So pretty much we've had that conversation with the neighbors, and I certainly want to make them happy and us happy and everybody happy. And I'm on board with whatever needs to be done pretty much. So that's all I really have to say.
Okay, thanks very much, Kathy. Any members of the committee and council have any questions or comments? Mayor Peckett?
Thank you, Chair. I'm happy to see that from the previous meeting that we had, the suggestion was put out there that the parties get together and come up with a satisfactory plan to both sides to move this forward. And I'm very happy to see that's what has happened. I just want to clarify from Mr. Howarth, if I may, in that, and I have no problem with passing the zoning bylaw change, but I still, Kathy, in my opinion, we need to see that site plan completed as to how it's going to be and what's going to be done. So, Mr. Howarth, we can go ahead and pass the zoning bylaw change, but before it moves ahead with the actual installation of the food vehicle, the site plan would have to be completed and brought forward for council's information.
Through you, Chair. I apologize, and CAO Lindsay, she can also correct me if I'm wrong in saying this, but so tonight is a public meeting, so you're not actually going to be in a position to pass or approve the bylaw today. I could make a suggestion is that maybe an updated sketch could be provided at the council meeting, and if that updated sketch meets the satisfaction of the council and the applicant and the neighbors, then the council could consider it at that time. Alternatively, you can just hold the application in abeyance and not make a decision on the zoning bylaw until you're satisfied with the information that is being submitted. So you can just hold on with making a decision until you have that site plan sketch to your satisfaction.
Mayor Peckett? Oh, you're on mute, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks for that, Bruce. I'm quite okay then with passing the zoning change to move forward to council at the next council meeting for the official passing of it, provided that a completed site plan drawing is at that council meeting for council's consideration. Thank you.
Any other comments or concerns, questions? Okay, let me toggle back to my other screen here. So this therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will give careful consideration to the arguments for and or against the zoning amendment requested in this for this property. The bylaw will be brought forward to the September 21st meeting of council for consideration of passing. Kathy, that would be next Tuesday. Should this bylaw be passed, a notice of passing will then be circulated as required under the Planning Act, and there would be an appeal period after the notice of passing was sent of 20 days. I declare this public meeting closed. Thank you very much, everyone.